And we are live with another edition of We Have Thoughts. We've been gone the last couple of weeks. We haven't done this on YouTube, Soda. We got lives. I know
Oh,
we do this for the fun of it.
yeah.
Sometimes we get the occasional joiner, viewer that might talk to us a little bit. For the most part, we've joked. No one's listening. But we just come up with topics that we have thoughts about. And yeah, so we are back
Mhm.
live. Saturday a little bit later, but it's a good day. We'll see. Maybe we get more of a night crowd than usual. So
An early evening crowd, yes.
early evening
Crowd that
crowd.
wants to hang out, yes, at 6 p.m. on a Eastern time
Yeah.
here with us. Yeah.
Who
So,
for the people who don't have lives like us. What are you
mhm.
doing? You're out there with your families, your loved ones, whatever. No, no, no. You should be talking to us. That's what really should be happening.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be at dinner or anything like that
No.
waiting. And
No.
it's Saturday night. It's gonna be, the it's gonna be a long wait for dinner. Everybody goes out on Saturday night. Like I don't recommend it.
No.
Maybe listen to us and take a nap, you know?
Well, it might be a little, well,
Six
I
o'clock
guess
at
it
night.
depends where you are in the world. I mean, if you take a nap now in our time zone, you're not going to bed tonight. But hey, you know
No,
what? Each
you're
their
working it
own.
overnight.
Yeah, that's true too.
Mhm.
But each their own. But yeah, no, we have some topics to talk about. And before we get into it, I think you kind of brought something up that we got to talk about. Spooky season is almost here. I know you kind of started spooky season early with your movies and stuff like that. I know you like to start early, but you know what? I can't really
I
get
always
into
do.
like October 1st. I'm like, all right, Halloween month, 1 to 31. Like, that's me. I'm like, I'm not watching any horror movie, mainly because I'll probably watch some bad ones. I got plans. I actually have plans for Halloween season of movies for us to review, but that's a different story. But
Wow.
me and
Tease.
you have not gamed together because we've been doing so much and our schedules have changed a little bit, in quite some time. I think because the last game we played together is Dying Light 2, which
Yeah.
might have been before summer. I don't even know. But
Has it been that long? I mean,
it
God,
has.
we create so much content that I forget that. I mean, there's only so much time for the content to make content. So
No, true. And I just think, again, because I go to bed a little earlier, you're up a little later. It's again our
yeah.
schedules, and yeah, we're doing all this other stuff. And you know what? I mean, we kind of want to move away from gaming, anyways, but we can't forget what's fun about it. So, anyhow, I think
Mhm.
whatever it was, a month or so ago, we saw that the Outlast Trials was on sale for $13. And I was like, all right, this is a
Yes.
4-player co op. We have some friends that played this. I think we both said, like, let's just buy it because we knew somewhere down the line that we were going to play this game. They're like, all right, Halloween's
Mhm.
coming around the corner, a couple months. Let's just have this in back pocket. And we attempted it last night. Two noobs, not knowing what to do. So Soto, let's start off
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
very
What
true.
what what what's your what was your initial thoughts about the whole process? I know we only got two trials done, so to speak, but what's your thoughts on the game so far?
I didn't think it was as scary as I thought it was going to be. Um, I've never played the original game, so maybe there's more of a scare thing there. I mean, I like the tactics, or I like the hide in the dark thing, and then the little thing where you have to like make sure you conserve your night vision goggles. So that was kind of cool. Um, but yeah, like I think the thing that just kind of drove me crazy was once we were complete, like just being like, okay, well, how the fuck did we get here? And then having a backtrack all the way back to the beginning of the level that we were at. That
In the
that was kind
second
of
game,
annoying.
yeah, it was that was the worst part. But I will tell you, Soto, it isn't scary as much yet, mainly because we're still in the introductory um level, or it was basically I'm trying to we're not in a higher, difficulty. We are in the basically, when you play games, you have what easy, normal, hard, and then insane. We're in the
Yeah.
easy, easy. We just because
Oh,
I when we got off the second, our second game, we were done for the night. I kind of stayed around because you get some things, and I was kind of upgrading what I could, and I looked, and they're like, oh, standard difficulty is now available. So sort of we were basically doing easy, easy. So it's gonna get
okay.
scarier. I Mel reached out to me. She asked how we liked it, and if we can somehow get everyone together. Because the good thing about this is there's no real story, which I love and hate.
Mhm.
We're both big on story games. We say this in our movies. I want a beginning, I want a middle, and I want an end. with games that don't end, it's like sooner or later you just drop them. You know, and because you can
Right.
just move on to another game. Yes, it's basically fun with friends. And like, I'm glad we only paid like, I think it was like 10, 12, $13, whatever it was. It was pretty cheap. And I think that's the only reason. And I did not know it was this kind of game. I learned about it afterwards. So that might have swayed our decision a little. But yeah, there's so much to this. I kind of compared it differently to Helldivers because there's so much you can do. Like, okay, you want to fight you have to select and select the difficulty, and then you can upgrade. And so yeah, Soda, we're not even there as far as the difficulty, which means we're not even there in the scare factors. I can't imagine because there's two more. It was standard, and I forget what they called. I think the last one was like insanity or something like that, or something along those what? Because I think it's like hard and insanity. I'm like, I don't even want to know. We need chaperones. We need friends. But yeah, Mel said if we can work the schedule out, she'll happily, hold our hands for the
Yeah.
next one. And we'll talk more about that offline. But yeah, she's interested. I might join a game for them. We might do one Wednesday night so they can show me a few things as well. So I can be like, all right, Soto, this is what we do. But you're right. That second trying to go back without a real map system, we fucking did
Yeah.
circles, and I was getting
You did.
frustrated. I knew you were, and I know you get frustrated a little easier than I do with games sometimes. And you're like, God, I just want to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kept seeing the same doorway. I'm like, all right, I'm like this, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go around this way, lift this, and then I come up these stairs. I'm like, I'm in the same fucking door. So I went 3 different ways. I'm like, I was so pissed. I'm like, let's just follow the blood river. I don't even know how we found the end. I was just like, dude, it's there. We're just
I don't
going.
know how we did either. And when I'm drinking, like,
That
and
we
playing a
were,
game, I want
yeah.
it to be as user friendly as possible, right? I don't want to have to think too much, and I just want to go, go, go. Didn't that one game that we played, Strange Brigade? I used to play that fucking hammered with you guys, Mel Madness, right?
Yeah.
But it was just you didn't need to have to think about stuff. You just like played, so you can be like in any state of sobriety. Helldivers is kind of like that too, because
Correct.
shit gets so crazy so quickly that you just kind of like it's like a fever dream. But yeah, the whole getting lost thing without a map. I mean, if I don't have a map, I'm pretty much fucking screwed. And I'm sure this will be way more fun with Mel and probably Tengu, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we also
Um,
got Madness has the game. I like there's a
and
few friends,
Madness
so
too.
we'll
Yeah.
see which matchups we can do.
I mean, I think that'd be fun because like that would be like shenanigans and everything, and we
Correct.
always have great times with that. So, I'm not by any means deleting Outlast Trials from my PlayStation, despite its 80 to 90 gigabyte reservation on there. So, I'm definitely down, especially with spooky season coming up, and it's a multiplayer game that we can play. And there's not another one that I can think of. So,
Not at
I'm
the
down.
moment.
I just didn't think it was that scary, but you're saying it
We were on the
might get
easiest
scary in the
difficulty.
harder levels, and so you can save this, for when it gets scary and I shit my pants, and you can reference this, and I will own it.
So
You know,
before hold that shit your pants comment real quick because I got a funny story with that in a moment. But yeah, the other thing I will
oh
tell you
gosh,
is when you get back on Outlast Trials, because not that you would ever play this without me or just check it out on your own, but you have things in
hmm
upgrade because there's certain I first game I bought like this health thing. I actually bought like a barrier or no an anti-locking system, so now yes it takes a while to cool down or reuse, but now all that shit that was locked, I'm like, well fuck, I can just unlock this instantly. So there's ways you can
oh
upgrade
cool,
your character, and I'll show you, and you choose your playstyle. There was like you had to get like rigs or something like that, and like I said, the first one. So as we play, you're going to get better equipment to help you with the fucking scarier monsters. Because again, we just had the tip of the iceberg. If we didn't have that area where we just got lost, like where the fuck are we going? Because we got to the end. Yeah, we few occasions were like, oh shit, he's coming for us. Dodge and weave, dodge and weave. But yeah, no. So that was the introductory level, or difficulty. I shouldn't say level, difficulty. So basically, as easy can be. But yeah, Jill actually beat like the original game before she got into like Dead by Daylight. We used to buy these games for like $5, like anytime we saw a horror game, and this was one of them. And she
yeah,
did beat the first one. But it's funny that you mentioned shit your pants because I got home a little. We started late last night, which we kind of knew we would, and I
Mhm.
brought Jill home a sub, and I said, all right, I'm gonna, freshen up. I need, just had to change. I'm like, yeah, Soto and I are gonna play a game, and we're gonna watch him shit his pants. And she's like, ooh, I love it when Soto shits his pants. And we just had a laugh at that. Basically, you shitting your pants is like our entertainment. But you're right, it wasn't. There was jump scares, like when your sanity meter went up, like when they just came in the door. I was like, God damn it, because
Oh
I know
yeah.
my character started going insane first because I busted through a door and something, like that cross or whatever, stabbed into me. So since I got hit
Yeah.
first,
Was
that's why I
that?
started seeing things. And you're like, well, what are you seeing? What's going on? Until you kind of
Yeah.
understood, oh shit, yeah. So I got hit first. And we had some funny moments. I told Mel, I said, I think our favorite, funniest thing is, we had time in between matches and we were just playing arm wrestling. We had so
Oh my
much
God,
infinite
that's right.
arm wrestling.
That's right. We went on a side quest and we're just like, oh, we're gonna do arm wrestling. We're not gonna play the scary parts. We're gonna do arm wrestling. That was its own fucking. That was its own thing.
And
I
there's
forgot
other
completely
games.
about that shit.
Yeah, there's other games. I know we saw chessboards, but there's a couple other things in there that we haven't even checked out. So yeah, there is some little side quests. Like there was an arcade game. So I
Um,
mean, just fun little moments like that. Because yeah, that
I mean,
lobby
it
is
was
just full
fun.
of whoever. Because you can have private
Mhm.
parties or just go into public, in case you wanted friends. But no, as I told, I'm
Case
like,
you wanted friends.
well, no, because some think about it. Do you want to do this game alone? Like you're going to try alone? Because if you die, you're screwed.
Uh,
Though there
yeah,
is
nah.
something where like you can instantly revive yourself if you have to build it. But yeah, no, it's definitely better with friends. And as it goes on, and if you build your character correctly, it will help. I think there'll be a lot more scarier moments. There's shit that, like I said, because every state, every area has like 6 or 7 different missions, and you have to also do it on every difficulty too. So, like when the very first one we played at the police station was on introductory
Yeah.
difficulty, but now we can do that on standard, and it's you can up your grade and stuff like that. But it's again kind of like Helldivers. You can kind of choose like, all right, I want to go here, and we're going to do this. I had no clue. I just kind of picked the first and the first one. Then the second one, like, ooh, the funhouse. That sounds scary. Let's put Soto in the fucking funhouse. So
One of the movies you saw this year.
yeah. Number like
Funhouse or
101, I
Funhouse.
think. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm all in on the Outlast Trials for now. I don't know what will happen after Halloween. I think if we can get together, I think it'll make for not you said better content, but just fun, and that's all gaming should be. You're just having fun with your friends. Yes, some people get
Exactly.
scared. We have a friend Drudge who Soto. You think you get scared? He's a screamer. I've seen clips. He gets scared quickly, a lot more than you. And he has his kids. He has a kid in the house. So at least, I
Oh
mean,
my
don't get me
God.
wrong. Sarah will kick your ass if you get too loud. But I'm just saying,
Sure
it's
does.
just you two. But I'm just like, you got a baby sleeping, or I shouldn't say baby because they can just
Yeah.
start kindergarten. But yeah, so it's just hilarious. So no, I will definitely. We're gonna do more. I hopefully next time what I can do is at least maybe save some interesting clips and do highlights for us. That's something I didn't do yet. So, but no, I like I said, I'm gonna like it, but it's something I'm gonna stick with for a long time. It's just because there's no real end. I want to like the Dark Picture anthology games we played. The fact that there's an end and we
Mhm.
kind of play it together. It's co-op. Yeah, we're gonna have scary moments. We're in it together, but there's a story, and then it just ends. So yeah, I you know what? We'll see. I hope it gets better. The second level was frustrating just because we were just. It's like go back to the beginning. I'm like, I don't even know where the fucking beginning is. Like we're both just
Yeah.
separated. Two
Yeah.
guys coming, but they're not fully chasing us. I think thank God because that gave us time to just keep getting lost. Like I don't know what's going on, but no, we'll see.
Think we killed the snitch. I remember that. We electrocuted him.
Yeah, we electrocuted him and then put like the robotic kids in the grinder. To anyone that does not know this game, this sounds very sadistic, and that's
Yeah.
what the Outlast games are. They are very sadistic and
We
crazy.
did.
We did, but they weren't real. Though they were kind of stabbing a
No.
real guy, but I think he was already dead, so it was okay. But yeah, the
He was already
snitch, hey, snitches get stitches, and he got a shit ton of stitches. So,
He got the stitches. He definitely did.
but so there's a going away from gaming. I need to tell you a story, and this is gonna be a long ass story. So feel free to interrupt me, ask questions, break it down, because this happened.
Sure.
So much happened in such little time that I can't even remember everything. You know what when you're just in a moment, like what, like I seriously wanted to somehow sneak out my phone and seek, I'm not to secretly like have ChatGPT repeat what was told to me, not for any reason, just so I could remember it.
Mhm.
And I know the main thing we're talking about is conspiracy theories. So I'm going to start this off by saying, listen, this is all in fun. I'm going to be talking some stuff about politics and religion because I know we kind of want to stay away from it. But with the point of
Uh
this story, it's going to happen. I'm sure if anyone that listens, they might get pissed, but take it with a grain of salt because when you
Yep.
hear the side of the story, yeah, like I said, I'm not taking sides. I'm just basically to fast forward to how many. There's just way too many crazy people. I have no problem. I don't care what your politics are. I don't even care what religion you are. As long as you're not
Yep.
hurting other people, forcing other people, I could care less. So if you came to me and was like, listen, me and Sarah, we found this in religion. We are going to kneel every day and pray to this pet rock and just be like, we have to sing the song. I'm like, good for you. Not my cup of tea, but good for you. Like, you be you. That's how I go back. Like, I don't care. Each their own, but
Yeah.
just don't force
I
it
wonder
or
how that
just
would come up in conversation, right? Like, hey, just FYI, new religion. I felt you should know. You're like, okay. Let me know if you have a trade in fantasy that you want to talk about.
oh my God.
Basically, it. It's like, great, okay, cool. So, anyways, Genti, is he a starter? Something like that. So,
Yeah.
but no, I see your point. I get your point, and I'm pretty much the same way. I kind of feel like, everybody do your own thing. Don't impose anything on me. Um, I this might piss people off, but your religion, like, I don't have to abide by your religion, and vice versa. That's all I ask.
Correct.
If you're into whatever you're into, cool. That's great. I respect that. Just don't force me to have to do it too, because I also have, um, I have the right to like not have to do that. But yeah, I don't care about people's politics. All I ask is that people are just, regular human beings to each other, not dicks.
All right, keep that in mind right there. So as we get into this, I'm gonna actually adjust my mic just a little bit because I gotta kneel forward. So I know you know this, and to anyone that actually might be listening to this later, I am a mailman and I don't mind my job. It's actually pretty easy. I don't have to think that much. And by that, I mean, when I leave my job, I leave my job. There's nothing that I take
Oh,
home. I'm fine with that.
best.
We've done customer service. I've done management. We've talked so much about this. Like you're
Hmm.
fixing other people's problems. So I'm like, anyhow, now some parts I am going to keep vague. That's just me being proper, but I am getting close to the end of my shift. And this was actually a kind of a fast day. And I was getting close to, I have this one long stretch of road. A lot of houses, but just that's when I start feeling all right. I am almost done. There's the end, blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing this little turn, and this guy who I've never met, he has this small package of mail. I'm putting in the mailbox. I see him in the driveway, and he starts coming up. So I'm actually being nice. And I said, "Oh, he's coming up." So I kind of grabbed the stuff. He's kind of close. And I said, "Hey, how's it going?" Hey, I see you going. I got it for you. Hand it to him. I'm still in my truck. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm pissed off. I'm having a bad day." Shit, why did I have to be nice? That's gonna be more moral of the story at the end of this. You're gonna forget.
I should have
All I
shut up.
should have just done was drive away. But anyhow, I'm like, oh, again, because this is I don't converse with a lot of people, not like when I did customer service. So I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. Is everything all right? And kind of like, no, man, everything's just pissing me off. Fucking Democrats. And I'm not going
Oh
to get
no.
into everything because I can't remember everything. He just starts yelling.
Here
He's
we go.
pissed. And I'm just like, okay, now I just got to find the spot where I get out of this and go. But then Soto,
Yes.
he said something, and there's going to be a lot that he said that caught my attention. And I'm like, oh, this is when I
It,
went from like, okay, it's just going to be someone yelling about their side, blah, 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 to like, oh shit. So this is based on a current event. So this is where I'm going to start saying, hey, if you get offended easily, just change the channel. He looked at me, he's like, listen, Charlie Kirk,
God.
the character is dead,
Here,
but the real
here we
person's
go.
alive. The real person's still alive. The character is dead. And I looked at him like, I don't even know what to fucking say. Like Soto, I'm like, Soto, trust me, this story is going to get a lot more confusing. And I'm just looking like, Because I
No.
can't. Now, there's also a difference, mind you, when I say a lot of these things, why I'm quiet, I'm also at work. Because if I'm in my own car or if I'm passing someone, whatever, I hear this in the bar, I'm more apt to put in my 2 friggin' cents because I ain't gonna give a shit. But obviously, when I
Yeah.
represent the postal service, I'm like, I need to be careful, just because. And also, I'm like, if I piss this
Oh
guy
my
off, he
God.
knows I'm
And
gonna see
this
him
is
every day.
like,
So
this
I'm
is the
just,
hottest thing you could be talking about
oh
right
no,
now.
so
This is
this
like
is this is
the
just
most nuclear thing we could bring up right now.
I know, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, and he again going all off on the Republican thing, and he's just talking about then how all the Democrats is just screwed, blah blah blah. But this is because of Trump has organized this fake assassination, and I kind of want to ask why. What would be the point?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Like,
but
let
I'm
me
like,
hear you
I
out.
ain't gonna ask this. I'm not gonna ask this right now. Um,
Uh,
So anyhow, so then he goes off and he goes about COVID and he talks about how all this pharmaceutical people, they're going to be hung under Trump because, the COVID thing, I never got, my shots and I'm healthy, blah, blah, blah. And again, I personally have known a couple of people who passed because of it.
this is fucking New Hampshire, right?
Oh yes, I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it New Hampshire. Let's not get the city involved in this
Of
for my
course.
own
Yes.
protection
Yeah.
at the moment.
The state of New Hampshire in general.
It's a blue state, Soto. You got to remember that it is actually a blue state.
It's kind of a red state secretly inside of New England. I've been in New Hampshire the last 2 weekends, and
You've been
they
North New Hampshire.
certainly, yeah, they lean a certain way up there.
Yes, they do. But my point is, if you look at the past elections, they have voted blue.
Sure, yeah, of
But
course.
that's also because big cities. But anyhow, so he goes off on
Manchester
that.
now. Yep.
And then, he goes off on, if you remember the whole, the 2020 elections, how, mailmen, there's video proof mailmen were throwing bags of the ballots and they were watermarked into the ocean. And every postmaster is just going to be, fired and hung. And I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck? Hung.
Like publicly executed.
Yep. So I'm just like, again, okay,
Right.
and I'm just like, I need to get out of here. He actually has his hand kind of on the truck, so I'm like, I just can't drive away. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Now, mind you, he's also a guy that has to keep yelling his point, keeps yelling
Yeah.
to get his point across.
Yep.
I'm like, can we just have a conversation?
The
So
mailman.
yes, I'm just here to give you the stuff that's being sent to you. I'm sorry you're getting bills. I'm sorry about junk mail. There's only so much I can do. I love the animals I see. I have a few dogs that are happy to see me. And I get excited seeing, I wave to people with dogs. They're like, I don't even care. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm as friendly because again, I don't mind. Kids wave and I'm just waving at kids. Like it can be a fun job. Yes, it can be physically exhausting. So I'm just like, I got to find a way out. But he's telling me how Hillary Clinton's dead, Barack Obama's dead, Joe Biden's been dead for the last 4 years, Soto. But Jim Carrey's been playing him all through the presidential when he was president, so no one knows. No one knew that Joe Biden was dead because Jim Carrey's been playing him. I'm like, that's an SNL skit, right? I know there's some reality that was going around, and SNL made fun of it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I think we would know if Jim Carrey would be president. That was my mistake opening my mouth right there.
Oh God.
You had now because I'm like, now I think I'm laughing and smirking to myself. And he's just like, oh yeah, you're you're a freaking Democrat, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him and this is how I get out. I'm like, I didn't vote Republican or Democrat last election. And people just think, no, you got to be one way or the other. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can see both people's points. I don't need to argue. Like, don't get me wrong. There's points I can see in both, but the extreme sides, that's when I'm just staying away. But Soto, now let's get into some more fun stuff. This guy.
Wait, it continues?
Oh no. So this is all the political religion stuff, and he's just saying this. And here's my second mistake before I take the turn of where this conversation starts going, Soto. So it goes back to Charlie Kirk, and I'm being honest. I did not know who he was when he got shot. When I saw his picture, I knew him from the videos. Like, I'm like, okay, I've seen a few of these. He's not my cup of tea. I kind of and I kind of said, the guy said, well, listen, I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't let a social media influence what I do or how I think. Because to me, and this is going to be my hot take, so people get pissed off. I'm like, that's what he was. He's just, and people just follow. That's fine. That's what social media influencers do. People follow, there's some diehards. I'm like, regardless, I know he argued and debated. I've heard things, whether it's true or not, that he made up things on the spot because you can't prove certain things or in the. I don't know, and I don't care. But to me, that was his job. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't never wanted the man shot. I didn't want him to. I don't. I just. To me, I never paid attention because he's on social media. I'm like, this is the
Right.
problem. We are following someone that has no political power, and again, whichever side, you're on, we have to, Trump's our president, whether people like it or not. But Charlie Kirk, he made videos and he debated people openly. Now, some people agreed, some people didn't, and that's what made him famous because he would just openly friggin' that was his thing. He is a social media. So that's what I said to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't, because I didn't. And I told him, like, listen, I'm sorry. I don't follow people who are social media influencers. I don't let them
But you
make up
don't.
my mind,
You don't.
which I said to
You
him.
just don't.
And then the
It's so
guy just,
true.
oh, yeah, because you should, no one should. But I get why, again, for the younger audience or the younger people when they're on social media, yeah, there's, whatever, popular. I'm like, but listen, think for yourselves. You know what? If you agree with them, that's fine. 100% fine if you agree with them. But don't let what they say influence you as a person, And I know. So anyhow, the
Yeah.
guy's yelling at me again. I'm like, and now I'm getting kind of pissed. But Soto,
You're still there. You're on
I'm
the
still there.
clock.
Oh no, because it's almost this has become like a train wreck where I do want to keep going, but I want to know where this is all going. Like what
Uh,
other things? Because you're thinking like, okay, there can't be more. But wait, Soto, there is more. So
okay.
this is where now it's going to get. I'm going away from politics. I'm going away from a little of the. I know I didn't talk religion too much, but here's the next topic, which we can laugh at or why not? Because I know you'll laugh with me. Soto, he's a flat earther. He is a flat earther.
Oh,
Now, so
I'm
let me give you,
sorry.
let me tell you what he told me. And
Oh,
I
please.
forgot, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot because he's like, first of all, he's like, the sun? No, it's not millions of miles away. It's right there. I can see it. And I'm like, okay, well, they got pictures in space. No, no, Soto,
Caveman.
space is fake. NASA, it's a lie. No one's ever been to space. You know why we think there's aliens? Because we live in the dome. We're not seeing aliens, Soto. We're seeing the people that live on the other side of the dome. I'm not making this shit up. Now you see why I wanted ChatGPT to record this because I know I'm missing things because this all happened. So 10 minutes, like five, like it didn't happen, but he kept yelling nonstop and kept just talking. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. He had his little package. He's like, gravity's a lie. There's no gravity. If I drop this, you know why this falls? This is heavier than air. Balloons aren't heavier than air. That's why they float. You know why rockets curve when they shoot rockets? Because, they make it that way. They don't want it to hit the top of the dome. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he's like, dude, he looks at me. He's like, I have all this information in my house. If you ever want to come in, you can come in and watch on the big
No.
screen. No, exactly. I'm like,
No.
there ain't no way.
No.
If I go in this man's
No.
house, I am not coming out in one piece. Oh my god.
Yeah. No. And you're like, I don't care enough. And, it's funny because I was walking from work, from the building of my work to my car in the parking lot. And I park pretty far away to get my steps in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I work on the sixth floor. And so I was there late. It was the other night. I was texting you that I was there late. And I watched the sunset, which I haven't actually watched the sunset in a long time. I don't remember the last time I actually did, but I watched the sun actually set underneath the horizon. It actually happened a lot quicker than I thought. So I'm walking to my car and I look up. It's already set. It's already dark where we are, right? On the ground. I look up. I see planes. The planes are reflecting the sun still because up at that fucking altitude, the sun has not set because it is a globe, a child, Greek people. These are self-evident things. So I feel bad for people who think that the earth is flat. And it sounds like this man, is just riddled with mental health issues because, the world is, I'm sorry, the world is boring. It's actually kind of really cool, too, if you're into science. But people just go, they come up with conspiracy theories from my understanding. And I'm not a medical health professional, but you come up with conspiracy theories because you try to explain something really complicated and you try to give it some context that you can make sense out of, right?
Mhm.
Because you can't just deal with what like it might actually be the way it is. But flat Earth, I mean, believe what you want to believe politically or what, like that's debatable, that's subjective. But the Earth is fucking round. It is, and these are the same assholes who the flat Earth theory people who have cell phones and who are like, oh, like science doesn't exist. And I'm like, okay, how do you think your fucking cell phone exists? It exists like just with just magic. I think magically it happened. Um, but flat earthers, man, I'm sorry, I don't care if this is controversial. If you're a flat earther, uh, go get help. Because I just think that those people are absolutely fucking nuts. And if I were to like, if somebody was a prospective employee of mine and they had casually mentioned that they think the earth is flat, I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
No, agreed. And he
I'm
has
sorry.
no.
There's facts, there's debatable shit, right? Like you were mentioning, you can have your opinions, and then there's just fucking reality. And the reality is that we are on a globe and we are floating through black space, and the star that is closest to us is the reason that it heated up like everything here perfectly so that we live. That's it. That's the science. It's not exciting to you, fine, that's your thing. But it is what it is. Like there's a reason that snipers have to account for the curvature of the fucking earth when they're shooting.
Or
That's
planes.
it. That's
If you
my
see like their guy, like those the guides, like the maps. I can't think of. They're looking at like the screens, and they're going here and here, but like it's on a curve, and that is why. No, so I have a couple more things from this guy, and we'll end this conspiracy.
odd.
Oh no. I mean, we hit the flat Earth was kind of a big one. Like the sun comment, I almost died laughing. I was just like, even Jill. I told Jill about this. Just him, like, it's not millions of miles away. It's right there. I can see it. And I'm just like, I don't know what this.
Same thing for the moon, same thing
So,
for the stars.
so he
They
was
just
telling me, he's like, you can't look this shit up. He's like, you can't use Google. They'll give you the information that they want you to have, not what you need to have. You need to use these sites. And I'm sorry, Pete. I would say it. I just don't remember the two sites he gave me. And I'm like, I would still want to go on them, but he was giving me two sites where they can't really track, where you get the real information. Then I'm like, well, how do you know they're not
oh
giving you the fake information?
right.
But hold on. He had a cell phone and he has a cell phone, but unfortunately, his texting's turned off. He can no longer search certain things. Google and everything's tracking his phone, so he can't look up certain information. But thank God for those other sites, so he knows how to look it up. So now I'm going to go back to religion a little bit, and he did talk about God, the Bible, and this and that. And again, I've talked openly about this. I've never read the Bible.
The
I don't.
Bible.
I don't
Okay.
fully believe in this. That's maybe a story, and I'm open about this. But anyhow, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Soto, I had the ultimate question and comeback, which might have either got me killed, blown his mind. But I'm like, if I was not in my mail truck, I would have asked this. But I looked at him, and all I could think about, like, okay, wait, we're in this dome. Now I'm just pretending to live in his world, and
Sure.
they're
Yeah, we're
giving
gonna
us the information that they want us. Which I have a question. So to hold on, before I even get to the end of this, let's just say, let's pretend. Let's play along, Soto. Let's just say this is real.
Yeah.
Let's just say we
Yeah.
are in a dome. All this shit is
Yes.
really happening. We don't know. We're living in our matrix lives. I have a ultimate question for him, for anyone who has a logical way of thinking. If this is all true, why does he believe, and why does anyone believe, that out of all people in this world, not just America, in this world, why is it that
Mhm.
Donald Trump is the one that has the answers and can see the truth? We live in a dome. This happened to be here since God knows when. But for some reason, he believed, like, no, no, no. Give me a scientist. Give me the people, like, whatnot. Like, I'm like, out of all,
That Donald Trump
even
knows
if
the answers.
say this is during Joe Biden, I'm like, he's not gonna have all the answers. I do not believe. But he was so set that I'm like, why? Even before he came, he's like, he knew all. I'm like, why? Why did Trump know the answers? Like he really knew. So, but anyhow, Soto, back to my. If we are in a dome, and I looked at him, and he mentioned the Bible, and he's talking about God, and I said, wait. And I did not say this, but again, my brain, I was so close. I was so close to this. I'm like, buddy, I'm just like, if that's the case, we're in a dome and there is no alien, whatever this is, I'm like, then technically the Bible is false too, because that means that was built in the dome to give us false information. I'm like, so why do you believe in the stuff that you just happen to need to believe in to make your story better if you're not looking at
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I know we joke about this in movies, we talk about this, 3-act structure. I'm like, well, if you have a twist at the end or there's a big reveal, have it make sense from the beginning. I'm like, no. If we're in a dome, that means someone put us in the dome. They built the dome,
Yeah.
which means all the information
Mhm.
here. Yeah, again, I'm living this, which means the Bible is fake in this theory. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, I just gotta go. And then he
In
just
this
kind of
theory.
quiet down. I said, listen, I have to finish. And he's like, and his last line said, hey, if I see you again, we can talk more about this. I said, fuck no. I'm thinking about, fuck no. I'm literally, like, the other day, I saw him in his truck and I just not made luckily I did not make eye contact, put the shit in and left. So the funny thing about all this is the day before there was a package I had and I went up to the door, I can't, like, the door, and a woman kind of came from behind, scared me. I heard a little dog. I'm like, oh shit. She's like, no, he's friendly. The dog was wary, and she's like, no, Tito's friendly. His name's Tito. The instant I said this dog's name, and I probably said too much. Not if he's listening, Soto, if I'm dead, call my wife. Anyhow, and the instant I said this dog's name, the dog starts getting
No one's
happy,
listening.
jumps up on me, and I'm just petting the dog. I'm like, and I'm having a nice conversation with the woman, and I'm just like, hey, this and that. Oh yeah, no, I'm like, I love dogs. So some people know everyone the dogs and the mailman story, but I'm like, if a dog's friendly and wants me to pet it, and you allow me to, I'm fucking gonna pet your dog. There's
Mhm.
dogs on this route that just now see my truck. I got to be careful because I have one big dog called Zeus that literally sees my truck. It's an apartment building. He'll start walking to me, and I have to, like, turn around, like, shit, just stay there. Like, I'll come pet you. I'll call you when I'm ready. Just don't go in
Mhm.
front of my truck. I mean, I'm not flying, but anyhow.
Right.
So again, lovely conversation. Just whatever. It was just blah blah blah, and then he's telling me how she has dementia. I'm like, I think the wrong person might have dementia here. I don't know. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I
Um,
think that
I I
he's got real mental health issues.
but yeah. My point is, don't get me wrong. There's there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. So I know you kind of sent me a thumbnail. What was it? Alval. I'm having trouble saying her name. Lavigne has a
Avril
clone.
Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. Thank you.
Yes,
And I had to
Avril
ask you
Lavigne.
about this. I'm like, she has
Yeah.
a clone. This is so. Wait, explain this to me. That's a legit theory that she has a clone. When did this
I
come
mean, it's
about?
a theory,
I
like
mean,
that
I
she
know you
died
don't
and then
believe
she
in
was
it. Oh,
replaced,
oh,
and so she was replaced with like and like this other double has been like posing as Avril Lavigne the rest of the time. It's kind of like Mandela effect and shit like that. Stupid shit you see on the internet.
mm-hmm.
Um, but it's one of those. I was surprised because I was looking up conspiracy theories because I don't think about conspiracy theories
I really
because
don't either.
here's the thing, and I saw this on a TikTok and I'm gonna go ahead and parrot it right here too. Like, okay, like the Earth is flat, right? Earth's flat. I gotta pay my bills. Do you?
Yeah, I gotta live my life.
Does that fucking matter? Like, so if
Nope.
I woke up tomorrow morning and turned on Channel 5 and they're like, hey, everybody, the earth is flat, turns out, I'd be like, cool. I still have debt and I still have bills, so I don't give a fuck. Like these conspiracy theories don't change my fucking life. Like, there's one conspiracy theory I read where it's like, oh, there's a secret society of lizard people that it's controlling everything behind the scenes. Okay. That doesn't fucking do shit with me until aliens come down here from the fucking sky and say, "Hey, guess what, guys? Nobody here has to work again." I don't give a fuck about any of these conspiracy theories. I really don't. I just don't see how they like affect me day to day, and I don't sit here going like, "Oh my god, like was the moon landing faked or whatever?" It's like that. If somebody came out tomorrow and said the moon landing was faked, do you know how many shits I would give?
No, it wouldn't change anything. It shouldn't change
I wouldn't
anything about
change
your life.
shit. I'd be like, okay, oh, I was like, well, whew, they pulled one over on me on that one. Guess I mean, but a lot of things that we learn in school, like, we grow up and we're like, oh shit, like they didn't really tell us the whole story there.
Mm.
So I don't know. I mean, the Avril Lavigne thing, I guess UFOs are a conspiracy theory. I don't like Roswell, I guess, is a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I kind of tend to take like I kind of just believe that aliens exist. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. But, we live in one galaxy, the Milky Way, and there are so many, there's like billions of galaxies in the universe. All of those are Milky Ways. And the Milky Way itself, we're in a tiny part of it. So you just by just knowing math and odds and everything like that, like, and how stars work and how they, have planets, there's no way that there's not like life in other like planets. It's just probable that there is. Now, are they visiting Earth? I don't know. I mean, again, it doesn't matter to me because it
Until
doesn't
it
change the
change.
fact that
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to pay shit. Like, yeah, no, exactly. That doesn't change anything for me. I still got to go to work. I still got to do the bullshit that we do. Like, I still got to do all that stuff. So, I just don't. I don't know. I just conspiracy theories. They're cute, but they just it doesn't like when I talk about spending my energy. I just never spend any mental energy on thinking about conspiracy theories or anything like that. It just doesn't move the needle for me.
No, I 100% agree until it affects our lives, basically. And I'm with you. Like, to me, space is infinite. No,
So much.
there's no chance in hell that we're the only people or
Yeah.
beings, I should say. There's something,
Hmm.
whether it's other humans, whether I don't know, we can all speculate, have fun conversations, blah, blah, blah. The only, if that's conspiracy theory, yes, I do believe there's some forms of life elsewhere. There has to be. Just the odds,
It's
it makes
logical.
sense just the way everything works. Now, do I believe
Hmm.
that aliens have actually visited us one time? Blah blah blah. I don't
Hmm.
know. Like
Maybe.
I can see the holes in it. But none of that is if they are holding a couple aliens, in Area 51 or whatnot. I know there's other testing they do there, but fine, it's not affecting me at this moment. I think we talked about this in previous podcasts. Like, I honestly believe in our lifetime, we're not going to see aliens. I just don't. Because you think
Oh,
about
why would
how
we?
big space is and how infinite, like, just even the
Mhm.
chances of them passing us until, and again, this is big ifs, until we're have a world where we actually can travel in space more freely and cheaply. And whether, because right now it's a lot of work and a lot of money to do just to go to the fucking
Hmm.
moon. I'm not saying,
Hmm.
go full Star Trek, but until there's that, then maybe, okay, then something might take notice. But yeah, no, there's got to be something out there. That's big. My big conspiracy thing. I do believe there's something out there, but until they come here, if they come, then I ain't gonna worry about it. Cause like you, it's like I have my life to live. I got dumbass podcasts to do. I got time with my family that I want to
Yeah, I got
do.
a fucking schedule here. Like, I
It's
got
just
to
like,
fucking adhere to. Ain't nobody care. Like, I'll tell you, nobody in the government gives a fuck about what I'm doing. Like on my
no,
Tuesday
they
nights
don't. They
and my
really don't.
Thursday nights, and then Saturday. Nobody gives a fuck. I mean, it's not like we're Jimmy Kimmel here. Like, we're just us. No one's even listening, anyways.
Nope.
So nobody gives a fuck. And my day to day, I just don't like. COVID was something that affected us. That's the last thing in my lifetime that I'm like that affected the entire reality in the world that I live in.
Hmm.
That was like a once in a lifetime thing, right?
Yeah.
So, well, we hope, knock on wood. But people have gone through pandemics and plagues before. That's part of our history. Yeah, I think it's really interesting, to get into more conspiracy theories. What I find really interesting is that, humans scientifically, we've been in this form. What they can find like 300,000 years. But we've only had this civilized recorded history for the last 6,000 of those 300,000 years. That's all we know.
Hmm.
And so all the records and everything go back to 6,000 years. That's like ancient history. But then you have structures like Gobli Tepe or whatever it's called, and that structure looks like it was constructed 12,000 years ago. And no one understands how that's even possible. So, like before we start talking about texts that are passed down and games of telephone and how those work, like we don't even know because like, history is just whoever wins gets to write it or fuck, if it burns in a fire, like all the books, like you lose that history.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of conspiracy stuff with, what happened there and um a lot of religious texts and a lot of religions seem to point towards this great flood myth. And so it makes you think, like, did that actually happen and spread across a bunch of different people, like, and then it became this religious thing. So I don't know, but um, go back to flat Earth, like even if you erased all the history books, like Neil deGrasse Tyson says, you can erase every single history book, every single religious text, everything that you do, the people would still figure out that the Earth is round. Like with that, like physics doesn't change. Gravity is a real thing. Like the way that the physical world operates, that would never change, no matter how many times we reset our civilization, like start over again. Like let's say this current civilization disappeared, and then 5,000 to 6,000 years into the future, people have to start over again, and they have no idea that we existed. They would still understand how temperature works, how fire works, what happens if something gets cold, what happens if you jump off a cliff. Like those things would still be true.
100%. But that's well past
Mm-hmm.
our lifetimes. We have to go to
Yeah,
work.
6,000. Yeah, no, we're gonna go to work until we're maybe fucking 70 something years old. And I mean that's just the way it is. And for now, I'm just like tonight. I'm wondering how I'm gonna spend my Saturday evening. Um, I'm just trying to live. I'm not trying to think about anything too crazy. And I feel bad for this guy a little bit. Um, because either he's very lonely or, maybe because I can't imagine he's not alienated his friends with his opinions. And he just has nothing but time on his hands and can think about this stuff. And, I hope that one day he finds some peace.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go in his house and watch whatever information he has.
No, you
No
don't
matter.
have to do
Oh, I
that
know.
for him to have his peace. Like your peace is important too, and also your just general safety is important. So yeah, no, good move
Thank
on
you.
that
Thank you.
one.
So you did mention, you're trying to figure out what to do on a Saturday night. And technically, I mean, not technically, but Wrestlepalooza is on tonight. And
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't want to, well, I know we're going to talk about this maybe a little bit, but a part of me kind of also wants to talk about what has happened with the WWE in like almost the last month with this ESPN deal. Because you got
Yeah.
ESPN and you're already like, I got to cancel this shit. And I've heard like from
Expensive.
people, it's like, it is expensive. And like
I don't
they
use it
have
for
the,
anything.
yeah, and 30, was it $30 a month? Like, yeah, it's
Well,
not
for me, for the bundle, it was 38.99 for the bundle of Disney, Hulu, and
okay.
ESPN,
Yeah.
and I just could not justify that. I'm already paying $100 a month for Fubo. As soon as the Red Sox are out, I will cancel Fubo, so that will help. And then I have another 80 something bucks a month I pay for YouTube TV for sports and all that. So I mean, I got to look at what I'm spending for, and if I'm not using it, I'm just there's no sense in paying for it. So
No, 100%
that's
agree.
where I reached out for the ESPN app, and there seems to be a lot of confusion as to how to even watch WrestlePalooza tonight.
Yeah, because I think, and again, I don't know because I don't have the app, and I'm just like I watch whatever couple matches afterwards. But there was something like it's not this app; it's like something I don't know what's true, what's not. It just sounded like there's confusion. I'm like, is there two different apps? There's something for new customers. I'm like, if you have ESPN app or on your TV, I'm like, you should be able to watch this shit. So the fact that this is the very first wrestling event and they're already having issues. Also, WWE, what is it? WrestleMania 43 is now going to be in Saudi Arabia, which I think a
Yeah, that was
lot of
not
people have
received
problems with
well.
that.
Yeah,
Just
that was not received well. They sold the
no.
fuck out.
Oh,
A lot of selling
100%.
out by WWE. It's okay. You're allowed to make money. Like, don't get me wrong. But man, oh man, the monification or the capitalization of like WWE since I've been back, it's like the sponsors in the ring, the fucking shit everywhere, like and just sell. I mean, good for them. They sold to ESPN. I never thought in my lifetime that wrestling would be popular enough to go on ESPN and much less be. They got paid like $1 billion something for that too. So good for them. But I think having the first WrestleMania outside the United States be in Saudi Arabia is definitely a choice.
Yeah, and it's definitely. I mean, they had to have got paid because I know they've been doing the crown jewel events
Of course
there
they
for
are.
like the last 6, 7 years. So yeah, I mean, and I know they had the press conference where a lot of the wrestlers weren't happy, but But yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
everything going
not
like
great.
it's. I mean, we've talked about this. WWE is one of those things where it just seems like no matter what happens, the wheel will keep on turning. They'll find a way around.
Mhm.
But all this, I'm just like, damn. But my point is, going back to, like, you look at Wrestlepalooza, and I think you even brought it up this. I don't know technically what the main event is. I think the one thing most people are excited about is the CM Punk AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins Becky Lynch.
Oh
For a
yeah,
while,
that's the only thing that has heat right now. Yeah.
correct, and you mentioned it though. Like that is like the best story, probably the only true story going on. That's basically
Yes.
carrying the company.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I kind of want to talk about this. Like, is the WWE just taking some time off before we go into, like, what is happening? Because yeah, I think Cody Rhodes is filming Street Fighter, and he just happened to come back. He actually has a match tonight. I didn't even know it until like
He
SmackDown,
does. I
and I
think
don't.
against Drew McIntyre. Yep.
Correct, but I could give two shits. Cody's winning. He's not losing the belt there. Um, but why? Let me ask you, because you have come back to this, wrestling this past year.
Yeah.
Um, I know you missed a lot of the era, which we've talked about. The CM Punk era, AJ Lee, blah blah.
Sure did.
But why has this feud? Your words exactly, like this feud's been carrying WWE. It's the most interesting thing. Why has this feud interest you more so than anything
Well,
else?
it's had great moments. I think especially with Seth Rollins and the I don't know if it was kayfabe. It might have been like real, like turn into kayfabe kind of thing. But they used it to their advantage, and that was one of the best moments of the year. I think that was in SummerSlam, right? Where he cashed in the Money in the
Yeah,
Bank
the
on
injury, the fake
CM Punk.
injury. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that was just pure fucking cinema right there. That was great. And then you fast forward into all the intrigue that was going on with AJ Lee, and she broke the internet when she came back, and people's lives were like people were so happy when she came back, and so that's part of the same storyline. Becky Lynch's heel turn has been pretty good, I think. Um, I dude, did WWE really fucked up this John Cena heel turn thing, and it like soured the first half of the year. It's fine that he's a face now, and now Brock Lesnar's back, which is problematic in its own for a lot of different reasons. But um, yeah, the John Cena fucking Cody Rhodes thing, man, was a piece of shit. Whole entire thing, and John Cena turning heel like was bad. I mean, right now, like the hottest thing is Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and then their wives. And do you give a fuck about Cody Rhodes and what he's doing? I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck about Jay Uso and his whatever. Like we make fun of it, and it's like, oh, he's over, so that's all that matters. But I can't think of a more boring ass motherfucking wrestler right now than Jay Uso. When I see Jay Uso and the yeet shit and all that, I just don't. I don't fucking get it. I'm not trying to sound like an old person, but in all the years that I've watched wrestling, and I've seen a lot of fucking stupid gimmicks in my life. Don't get me wrong, but I don't get the Jey Uso shit at all, like at all, and it's so annoying and frustrating. I think that there are better people to book than him in that situation, but that's just me. But the CM Punk Seth Rollins thing, it tells you a lot that has had enough heat on it where it's been compelling to watch. Um, Not compelling enough for me to fucking start doing ESPN and going all that shit and going along with whatever WWE wants me to do. That shit's where I draw the line. But that's all that's going on for me. And also the bright side coming back to wrestling is the female division, the women's division. Um, some spectacular fucking matches this year. Here we are in September, and some of the best matches I've seen have been women's matches
100%.
this whole entire year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's fine. That's great. I guess they have to cover their bodies when they go to Saudi Arabia. So, I
Yep.
mean, okay.
Yep.
Um, it's just, like I understand that art needs commerce. I'm not stupid. I understand. Like I just watched a movie today, Demon Slayer, which we'll talk about. But that is the final part of the show, and it's broken up into three different movies. So I just watched part one. They're probably going to delay part two, like in a couple years or whatever, and then they'll have part three, even though they already have the source material. Because they could just be like, we're going to just animate it all, and then we'll end it. But why? Because they want to make money. So they have to split it up into three because they know that if they split it up into three, I think it's already made $100 million right now. It's the largest grossing anime film of all time in the United States right now currently. Um, I think that money just takes over, and with WWE, a lot of the things that I don't like, have been commerce driven. And I think that that's going to really affect the product. I mean, right now you're alienating a large part of your fan base. You made money, but your fan base can't follow you to the new app. Like either they don't know how or it's prohibitively expensive. Because now you're asking people to pay what was essentially like a
Three
monthly
times the
pay per view
amount.
price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're now paying a monthly. You're back on that every month. You're spending $30 so you can see a PLE. And I think with the WWE Network and then Peacock, like that was cool that you didn't have to do that. Plus, you had access to the whole entire library. Triple H mentioned wrestling is very much tied to people remember the shit that used to happen. They want to rewatch the old shit. So I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. I mean, I do enjoy SmackDown more than I enjoy Raw as far as like a show right now. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll see the Rollins Lynch Punk Lee stuff like on TikTok and social media. Like there'll be clips of that. Um, but yeah, just I'm not really a big fan of these moves to be quite honest, and it's kind of sucks because I just got into it.
No, I 100% agree. And yeah, no, I'll usually matches appear on YouTube like within a few days. Like if you
Oh, they do.
WWE YouTube, yeah. So like I said, the mixed tag team's the one where I will probably go and watch. Because I feel like there's more to the story. Because yeah, it is really the most entertaining thing. Because anyone that's watched WWE recently, if they know why Punk left, everything that's happened, he came back. I know he had that stint in AEW, but it was 10 years for him, almost
Mhm.
close to, he came back 2 years ago. And yeah, he was one of the most over superstars of his time. You
Mhm.
can talk about, and AJ, same thing, AJ Lee with all the divas, yeah, her and Paige, which I've talked about, those two just stood out. You could just, not just promos, but wrestling. You're like, yeah, but you're right. Everything about this match, they've made it interesting. And yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad AJ Lee's back. I texted you. I'm just like, this leads to her coming back. From the first, when Becky Lynch had the
Yeah.
mask, and I'm all in. Yeah, like no, I'm not going to pay $30 for ESPN for 1 month to see a mixed tag match. I can, I've been keeping up on YouTube. I'll see what I need to, but it disappoints me because yeah, Peacock. I think I'm only paying. I think it just went up to like maybe $9.99 a month, which is still three
Which is
times. Yeah, I think I
fine.
was paying $7.99. But there's
That's
other
great.
things. Me and Jill, because we got it because of Chicago Med. We also watch other shows.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, we don't do many streaming services. We're gonna be using this. Let's just stick with it. I'm like, if we stop using, we stop using it, and it was just convenient. The wrestling was there. But yeah, you laugh because you're telling me, the amount you're paying for ESPN and everything. I'm like, I pay less for pretty much my three subscriptions, because I got Peacock, I got Netflix. What am I missing? Disney Plus. Those are my main three. Disney
Mhm.
Plus is coming on. I got more family that watches it now, so I keep it. Plus Doctor Who. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get all that, and there's reasons. Netflix. I get my movies and shit like that for the most part, and some series. We talked about Cobra Kai, which you still need to watch. But anyhow,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not.
I keep forgetting.
I'm not going back to ESPN. I'm not, or buying ESPN, and I don't have YouTube TV because we stopped pretty much watching it, and there was just like no point. And I was like, why are we spending like 75, $80 for maybe
Yeah.
watching 1 hour TV? I'm like, no, for us it wasn't worth it. And no, I am curious, and I think hopefully this feud will last for a while. It should last until Survivor Series. It'll last through War Games, and hopefully they make that. It'll be the first War Games where it's actually a blood feud. But yeah, the Brock Lesnar stuff and the John Cena stuff. Just, I think The Rock fucked it. I think he was supposed to come back. He was doing Hollywood shit, and they couldn't. There's no story. There's no story with Cena's heel turn without
There's
The
no
Rock.
juice at
And
all.
so
There's no juice.
I would have just preferred him like create that. Yeah, one they had it. Soto, they had it with Cena. The ultimate, just like he didn't say, "Listen, I'm retiring," but he's like, I would like that 17th. Like make that could be his mission, and he can still go through all the people. He can still fight Randy Orton. All his greatest rivals while doing this, while getting that one last championship. Not have to make a cheesy heel turn. Again, it could have worked, but if you the Travis Scott and the Rock, it ruined it. So
Oh my god, I know the Travis Scott thing was
yeah,
terrible.
fans, yeah, because I know they said he was training, but I'm like, no one. I don't know. But either way, I'm not interested in the Cena Lesnar. We've seen that a lot of times. I think Cena just wanted to face him one last time, and that's why they made it work. I don't know who his final match will be. We'll see. But no, it's tough because, yeah, this is the only interesting thing. I was excited for, and I still am, the AJ Lee. I just want to see what happens when this dies down with her. Like, okay, where else is she going to go? Because she can't. If I don't I think she signed a 1 year deal. I don't know. I don't think this is a one-off match. I could be wrong. I'm like, she can't feud with Becky Lynch for the whole year. So I'm like, she's going to have other stories. So we'll see. But I'm glad she's back. She looks great. And she was a little nervous on the mic at first, but, she just had to play into her quote unquote psychotic former self role. And yeah, it's just hilarious. And the things though, I know we talked about the things that they've chanted that she's got on purpose and not on purpose. Therapy, but also I don't know one of the final segments that they just had. This was more CM Punk because they came out to the whole thing was like, we can come out together. He's like, I am AJ's husband, and the crowd starts chanting AJ's hot husband, like that wasn't even provoked.
Don't talk about my hot husband.
Exactly. But that tells you. And going back to the Attitude Era days, and even old, probably more so that we did not do this crazy gimmicks in the 80s. The crowd wasn't in as much, but that's kind of where it all started. But just the crowd chants. But yeah, that's when you tell someone's over. AJ Lee's been gone for 10 years. The reaction, everything, and just the fact that people still they love her, they want her back, and it just worked out. Because I'll be honest, when CM Punk came back, I'm like, listen, she'll probably do a one-off the Royal Rumble, get the cheap pop, and go do what she's doing. So I would have been okay with that. Like, okay, hey, she's coming in. Yay, I get to see her one last time in the wrestling ring. But the fact that she's involved in the story and they're making it work, and I'm just like, yeah, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are playing it to a T. They're playing the heels to a T. People, they're good wrestlers. They've been doing it a long time. And yeah, they're just playing the heels that you just want them to see the end. So anyhow, yeah, no, I
would you be like surprised if Paige came back or something?
So I will say this. I full-heartedly think Paige is coming back. She, her contract with AEW is now officially up. There's been time. My original thought, and so if Chad's playing Booker, my original thought would have been cool because this would have died down if AJ Lee was in the, because she'll probably be in the Royal Rumble, not going for a title, and Paige was like the surprise, like a surprise. And just if you saw the two of them in the ring, like the crowd would go nuts, just saying they wouldn't even have to. This is awesome. But I think she's going to come back earlier. I think because here's the thing: War Games is coming, and I don't know how they're going to match it up, but I feel like it's going to be like Team Punk versus Team Rollins and Team AJ Lee versus Team Becky Lynch. It just makes sense to me. This is an actual blood feud. They're not just throwing 5 people together. It's who's going to work on who. And I wholeheartedly believe Rhea Ripley will be on AJ Lee's side because they've already kind of mentioned her. A couple others. I can see, because not a lot of people, I can see Paige coming back and kind of teaming with AJ Lee and just, that get her that pop. Because when Paige does come back, she can't, even though AJ Lee and Paige have been they're great rivals, they fought a lot. They had that stint at the end where they were friends, but like when Paige comes back, like AJ Lee, you can't make her a heel. Like the crowd's gonna love her way too much. So for her, I think she might be back in War Games to be on AJ Lee's team. Just like AJ's like, hey, I made a call to an old friend, and then Paige's music hit. Because the last match AJ Lee had was she teamed with Paige at a WrestleMania match against like some of the Total Divas or something. And that was her last match. So and those two are always going to be tied together, just like Lita and Trish. Certain even Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, certain people set Stone Cold and The Rock. No matter what happens, there's always two because just that time and what they've done. But yeah, both Paige and AJ Lee, what they did when it was just divas and just like not great wrestling, all about reality and stuff like that. Some of them were athletic, don't get me wrong, but they made it interesting. And when they were injured, they to not be on TV, that's when they become like a general manager. They kept him on screen just to keep the interest in that both of them. So yeah, no, 100%. Paige said she wants to come back. She would like to because her neck injury really took her out of a lot of time, and she kind of just said she wants to finish that character on her own terms. So, and now that she's able to wrestle, I know she'll be back. It's just a matter of when. So I say she'll be one of her teammates, and that's just the way I see it. Yeah, I mean, imagine that: Rhea Ripley, AJ Lee, Paige. I feel like Io Sky would be part of that team because Rhea Ripley and her have been kind of teaming together, helping each other out. So, like, fuck, that's a killer war game scene. Just those four right there.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not
Yeah.
getting ESPN for it. So, sorry,
Nope.
I'll watch it later.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, WWE.
Well, I think that's more TKO, the people who own WWE. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
The
yeah,
Rock.
yeah.
That's Dwayne Johnson. Fuck The Rock. He screwed up the heel turn. He's screwing up WWE. Fuck The Rock.
Mhm.
But
I'm okay with that.
yeah. But so I think we've been on an hour. I think we've had a lot of conspiracy theories, talked a little WWE, even some Outlast trials. Anything else you want to add before we end tonight?
No, I think we covered a lot. We walked around some things, and
Oh, we ran through some things
we
too.
definitely ran through some things. So usually not the lighthearted affair of whether or not I'm going to eat an egg salad sandwich or not. But that was pretty good.
Yeah. I tell you, when I came home, I was like, I have a brain aneurysm. I'm like, my head hurts from that conspiracy theory. I'm like, I just can't. But this is going to be over. I'm going to sit down, maybe watch a movie, have a beer. Spoiler, not that it matters, but we're probably going to watch Bob's Burgers, the movie.
There's a Bob's Burger movie?
Yes, there is. It's actually on Hulu, but Disney Plus sometimes they're like, "Hey, this is free with Hulu. Enjoy this on us." And that's how I saw Ready or Not, which I reviewed a few weeks. And then so it was there, and we used to watch. I'll get into more. And I'm like, Jill, I know you want to see this. We talked about it before. So I said, hey, yeah, if you're not watching anything, let's watch it tonight. If not, it could be tomorrow. But either way, I feel like this is in my immediate future, whether I do it tonight or not. So yes, we're going to watch the Bob's Burgers movie. I don't know if it's any good. I mean, we like the show, so. But yeah, I'm gonna have a beer.
If you like Bob's Burgers, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, it's like the Simpsons movie or South Park blew it out of the water with theirs. But yeah, I mean, it's just probably like 3 episodes in one, and just get a few laughs, and that's all we've talked about. That's all you need out of a movie. Just give me a few laughs. That's all I need.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, Warfare did not have a few laughs this morning. That's for sure.
That doesn't sound like a movie that you want a few laughs from.
Well, I texted my buddy too, who had recommended it to me. Like after it was done, I was like, "Holy shit!" And he was like, "You watched this movie at 9 o'clock in the morning?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's complicated, but that's when I can watch movies." Like if Sarah has an opening shift on a Saturday, I'm up at 7 anyways.
Yeah.
Because I got to feed the cats and I got to do my. I'm usually. No matter what, I'm usually up by latest 7:30. If she's working from 9 to 5, she leaves, and we don't usually do this podcast until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon typically. So I'm like, ooh, I can sneak in a 2-hour movie if I want to. And then when I was hanging out with my buddy, later we were watching Demon Slayer. He was like, "Oh, like, what are you up to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually doing like 100 movie challenge." And he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to watch 100 movies this year, like that I've never seen." And he was like, "That sounds really annoyingly hard." I'm like, "It's harder than you think." But it's like I have to prioritize my entertainment with being like, if I have not met my quota, I've got to be like, well, okay, movie first, and then I can move on to other things like that are TV shows, perhaps, or even tonight. There's a Bad Bunny concert on at 8:30 on Amazon Prime. So Sarah got a bunch of charcuterie, and I'll probably pop a bottle of champagne, and that's gonna be my night.
We should have done instead of the 200 movie challenge, made it a 100 movie challenge, make it a little smaller for us. We would have already finished if we went that hardcore. I mean, we probably wouldn't have. We're like, we got time, but Yeah.
Too late. It's too late now. It's too
Oh no, no,
way
we're
too
in it,
late.
dude. Right now,
We're at the
officially,
end.
with the
We're at the
movies
end
we
game
watched
now.
today, we're at 153. So anyhow, yeah, if you watch this at the end of YouTube, thank you. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, well, then Wrestlepalooza has already happened. But either way,
Hmm.
thanks for listening. If there's any topic you want us to debate, let us know. We've already debated a lot today with the conspiracy theories. Not debate each other, but just what we think, especially about flat Earth. But we won't start that whole can of worms. But thank you
Fuck
for
that.
listening. And yeah, this is just We Have Thoughts, and we'll continue to have thoughts, right or wrong.